History is usually written by the victors. But in the age before the Empire, before Skywalker, before Palpatine, before the Death Star, history itself was a battlefield. Blasters could kill a body. The Force could break a mind. But memory? Memory could erase entire civilizations. What follows is not legend, not myth, not propaganda from the Jedi archives or Sith tombs. This is the fate of the Old Republic, a continuous chronicle of how a galaxy tried to save itself and nearly destroyed everything instead. The dawn before the Republic. Long before the Republic called itself old, the galaxy was young, chaotic, and brutally honest. Hyperlanes were not mapped. They were discovered by accident, often at the cost of entire fleets. Worlds rose and fell without witnesses. Civilizations burned in silence because no one had yet invented the idea that history should be preserved. At the center of this chaos stood two philosophies that would shape every war to come. The Jedi, who believed the Force was balance, restraint, and service, and the Sith, who believed the Force was truth, raw, unforgiving, and meant to be dominated. Neither side was born good or evil. Both believed they were right, and both were willing to sacrifice entire star systems to prove it. The birth of the Jedi Order. The Jedi did not begin as knights. They began as scholars. On the distant world of Tython, Force-sensitive beings from across the galaxy gathered not to rule, but to understand. They studied the Ashla and the Bogan, the light and dark currents of the Force, believing that harmony came from balance between them. This belief was fragile. Balance required discipline. Discipline required sacrifice, and sacrifice required obedience. Those who could not control their emotions were exiled. Those who questioned authority were silenced. Those who sought power for its own sake were cast out. These exiles would one day call themselves Sith, but at the time they were simply the forgotten. The rise of the Sith Empire. Exile is a powerful teacher. Cast out into the unknown regions, the dark side practitioners encountered the red-skinned Sith species, ancient, warlike, and already attuned to the dark side of the Force. The union was inevitable. The exiles became gods. They took the title Dark Lord of the Sith not as symbolism but as law. Power was not hidden, it was celebrated. Betrayal was not condemned, it was expected. From this crucible rose an empire that believed peace was a lie. Their creed was simple. Through passion I gain strength. Through strength I gain power. Through power I gain victory. And victory to the Sith meant survival of the strongest. The First Galactic War. When the Sith Empire finally revealed itself to the Republic, the shock was existential. The Republic had grown complacent. It believed diplomacy could solve any conflict, that war was an outdated concept. The Sith shattered that illusion in a single campaign. Worlds burned, senators fled, entire Jedi enclaves were wiped from the stars before the Council even understood what they were facing. The Jedi, trained as peacekeepers, were suddenly generals, and they were unprepared. The war dragged on for decades. It did not end in victory, but exhaustion. A fragile treaty was signed. Borders were redrawn. Casualties were buried under sanitized numbers. But the galaxy was forever changed. The Republic had survived. The Jedi had not emerged unscathed. The Jedi Civil War. Peace is dangerous when built on fear. Within the Jedi Order, doubts began to spread. Why restrain power when the Sith did not? Why sacrifice emotion when emotion made warriors stronger? Why serve a republic that treated the Jedi as expendable weapons? These questions found their answer in a man named Revan. Revan was everything the Jedi admired and feared: a brilliant strategist, a charismatic leader, a Force user of terrifying potential. When the Republic faced annihilation by Mandalorian invaders, the Jedi Council refused to act. Revan did not. He defied the Council and led a volunteer army into war. He won, but victory changed him. Revan did not fall to the dark side in rage or desperation. He fell through logic. He concluded that the Republic was weak, democracy inefficient, and freedom incompatible with survival. The galaxy needed order, and only absolute power could enforce it. When Revan returned, he did not bring peace. He brought conquest. The Jedi Civil War was not fought between light and dark, but belief and doubt. Jedi turned on Jedi. Friends became enemies overnight. The Force itself seemed to fracture under the strain. Revan's defeat was not the end. It was an erasure. The Jedi wiped his memory, reshaped his identity, and used him as a weapon against his former empire. In doing so, they committed a sin that would echo for generations. They proved that even the Jedi feared truth. The true Sith and the war no one remembered. While the Republic celebrated survival, something older watched from the shadows. The true Sith, ancient, patient, and far more dangerous than anything Revan had become, had been waiting. They did not seek conquest. They sought extinction. Their leader, the Sith Emperor, believed life itself was flawed. The Force was not meant to be balanced. It was meant to be consumed. When the Great Galactic War began, it was not announced. It was engineered. Corruption spread through the Senate. Jedi vanished without explanation. Entire systems defected before they realized they had been manipulated. The Republic fought blindly. The Sith planned centuries ahead. The sacking of Coruscant. No event shattered the Republic's soul like the fall of its capital. Coruscant, center of civilization, symbol of unity, burned. The Jedi Temple was defiled. Archives were looted. The heart of the Republic was exposed as mortal. The war ended again in a treaty, another lie called peace. But this time, everyone knew the truth. The old Republic was dying. The fate of the old Republic. The Republic did not fall in a single moment. It eroded. Trust vanished. Worlds seceded. The Jedi became increasingly authoritarian, justifying control in the name of security. The Sith, fractured yet relentless, continued their silent war. Heroes rose, legends died, names were forgotten. What survived was not victory, but precedent. From the ashes of the old Republic came the idea that order must be enforced, that freedom was dangerous, that fear was effective. These ideas would one day give birth to an empire. And when that empire rose, it would claim to be something new. It was not. It was the old Republic's final confession.